Forza Horizon 4 has come a far way since Horizon 3, even though the changes were very minor. It proves that little changes can make big differences. Here are 7 little features Turn 10 could implement into their game to make it enjoyable for Horizon players to play. Enjoy the video.
Oh, English, 800 castles in Mali. Just be very still, I ain't gonna hurt anybody.
Number 1. Advanced Infotainment. If you've played Test Drive Unlimited's 1 or 2, you may have noticed a neat little feature. For cars with an infotainment screen, when you're driving, there's a sat-nav style map shown on the screen of your car, showing where you are and directions to where you're headed. We're talking about a 2006 game with this feature. 13 years onwards, what's stopping us from implementing this feature into Horizon 4? I mean, cars such as the Cayenne Turbo have an infotainment screen with the Porsche emblem displayed, and the GTR has a screen with working gauges. So how hard could it be to put a little map in place of that? They could perhaps make it more advanced too by displaying the song played on the radio, or by even replacing telemetry with this infotainment screen. So you know how you press down on the D-pad to open up telemetry? How about pressing down on the D-pad to turn on the infotainment screen, then scrolling through the settings with the left and right D-pad controls? Mate, I am a genius. Anyways, playing Forza, I never went into the cockpit mode because it all seemed a bit bland and not exciting, but the new camera angle was a very nice little feature they added. So if Forza do add an infotainment screen, it could be revolutionary. Forza could take a lot from TDU games. Number 2, road names and updated ANA callouts. This is slightly unnecessary, but I genuinely think it could make gaming in Horizon Britain a lot more engaging, interesting and realistic. We always hear the in 400 meters turn left or in 100 meters turn right, yada yada yada. And not to be picky or snobby, but hearing the same navigation callouts from the past 2 or more games is quite outdated in my opinion. So I think adding road names could give a refreshing new start. For example, would you rather hear
in 300 meters, turn left,
or
in 300 meters, make a left to Oak Street?
Yes, it's slightly longer, but the longer the better, eh? I mean, according to women, that's better. Yeah, I can't stop talking. On a real, it's genuinely a little feature that could make a massive difference, and if Turn 10 were willing to put in the effort to make that change, I reckon it'll be a game changer for everybody. It would be extremely useful in online challenges too, as if you decide to make a free roam race to a certain area, instead of placing the finish line on a certain landmark, you could end the race at a specific street. It's a small feature that could be revolutionary in this open world racing game franchise. Number 3, different driving modes. Modern cars nowadays have different driving modes. Lamborghini are a good example of this, as they have the infamous Sport, Corsa and Strada driving modes. Modern day sports cars have these modes too, so I think it's an ideal feature to add for these cars with these modes in the game. Only issue being, I'm not sure how Forza would map the controls for this, but I suppose it could be a good marketing strategy, as it'd require a controller with more buttons, forcing you to either buy the Elite controller or purchase a wheel. Anyways, ignoring business talk, how cool would it be to just be cruising down in your Hurricane in sports mode, then initiate Strada mode, unleashing the pops and crackles, flooring it down the motorways of the UK? The thought of that is pretty epic in my opinion. Different driving modes alongside another unique feature would be a great combo. Wait for the 7th feature to find out what it is. Number 4, indicators, hazards and light modes. Again, another feature from TDU. Many would disagree and say that this is a useless feature, but if this is useless, then tell me why GT Sport, a racing game with closed circuits, has this feature. Indicators and hazards are ideal for games such as Horizon. It would make the game feel more realistic and making things like cruises a lot easier and more enjoyable. Not only would turn signals and hazards be a good idea, but manual headlights and different headlight options would be amazing. How fun would it be to sit there in your little Miata, flashing away your pop-up headlight? And how challenging would it be to have challenges with your mates where you need to drive to a destination in the dark with no lights? It might just be my little fantasy playing up, but I genuinely think it's a great idea. Different light modes may be a bit of a stretch, but the ability to turn on or off the lights manually, in my opinion, is a neat little feature that they could implement into their game. Number 5, manufacturer interior colors. This was a feature in games such as The Crew 2, Test Drive Unlimited's 1 and 2, and a few other games, and it's a thing that's extremely underrated. I've always wanted to drive through Horizon Britain in my Rosso Corsa Ferrari 812 Superfast with a tan leather interior, but we're stuck with this boring black leather interior. What about the Alcantaras and suede, brushed or carbon trim? TDU did this very well, as each car in the game could be spec'd just like a real car would be in real life. Crew 2 did this even better, as they didn't just stick to manufacturer colours, but they included their own colours and material of trim. I think this is amazing, but here's an idea for Forza. You know how they included a genuinely amazing wheel colour option painting thing? Well, I think they need to include the same thing but for the interior of a car. For example, paint group 1 seats primary colour, paint group 2 seats secondary colour, paint group 3 trim, and paint group 4 could be dashboard, etc, etc, you get the gist. An option to change the material of the seats or trim would be a really cool feature too, in my opinion, and could bring a whole nother level to the term customization in racing games. Number 6, retractable roofs and windows. Another feature they've included in Test Drive Unlimited. Jordan from Fastlane Gaming did discover a sneaky little glitch which allowed you to drive the McLaren 650S Spider without the roof. but you can't do this glitch on any of the other cars in the game, unfortunately. So what's the point in putting in convertible cars in the game? You can only take the roof off in Forza Vista, but not whilst you're driving. Sure, it's nice to have extra cars, but we'd love to take the roof off, please. I thought Horizon was about enjoying the sun, driving with the wind in your hair, having a good time. So how claustrophobic would it feel when you're trapped inside of Ferrari California with the British summer heat suffocating you? Sure, it's just a game, but surely to get the full Horizon experience, you need to experience every bit of the wind, weather, sun, and heat. This may just be personal preference, but I genuinely think this would be an amazing feature to add into the Horizon game. Finally, ending the list off at number 7, if you have different driving modes, how can you not have launch control? Yes, we have that weird launch control glitch thing, but personal preference, I'd rather have my launch control sounding like this. I mean, come on, how sexual does that sound? You may not know this, but some games do already implement this feature into the game, one of them being R-Factor. This game came out in 2005, yet it's never been carried on in any future racing game. It's a shame really, and with Horizon 4 having quite a few drag strips in the game, don't you think this feature is ideal for the game? Well, I do, and that concludes the 7 features that I would like implemented into future Forza games. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like. If you're new to this channel, then make sure to subscribe, as I do skits, more of these videos, and even gameplay videos if you like. Anyway, that's it. Have an amazing day. Stay safe, stay positive. Have a good one. Cheers.
Sie pudert sich die Nase, ich pop eine Zanny. Checke frische Nudes auf meinem Handy. Rocke Gucci, Prada, Louis, Fendi. Pferdemädchen lesen gerne Wendy.